So what's up guys, this is my spoiler review. If you haven't watched my spoiler free review yet, please watch it here. And yeah, let's get into the spoiler review. There's going to be chapters in the description if you want to just skip ahead to my section on mid credits and post credit scene. Okay, so let's talk about the story first. The first 10 minutes actually shows their flashback about how they are the first astronauts to go into space for the first time, because this is happening in the 60s and it's happening in an alternate universe. The first scene you already see, it says Earth 828 and it's a nod to Jack Kirby's birth date. Of course, Jack Kirby was the creator of the Fantastic Four together with Stan Lee. Just for your information, the universe featured in Multiverse of Madness that had John Krasinski's Reed Richards was actually 838. So this is 828 and that's 838. But I don't think it really matters moving forward in Doomsday or Secret Wars. The first 10 minutes, they show you bits of their adventures as the Fantastic Four, and they also tell you that they have been the Fantastic Four for 4 years. Poetic, isn't it? And this is also the 4th time we see the Fantastic Four on the big screen, and for the first time it's fantastic.
Say that again?
I mean, the bar was set really low, and of course Marvel Studios can't make a worse film than the previous Fantastic Four films, but they didn't just make a good movie, they made a fantastic movie. Yeah, you're going to see more of that. But yeah, and then they show Mole Man. Mole Man, surprisingly, he has a role in the movie. When I heard that John Malkovich, his role as Red Ghost was cut from the movie, in my promo reaction video, I literally said, Paul Walter Hauser, you sure your role isn't cut from the movie? And he had a small role in the movie, so I'm kind of shocked that he made it to the final cut. Moving on with the story, Sue finds out she's pregnant, and then the other two find out she's pregnant. We've seen that scene before.
You are gonna be the best mom! Oh my...
That's when the Silver Surfer comes to Earth and she says, I herald his
beginning. I herald
Joanne, and I herald
Galactus.
Absolute cinema. I'm not even kidding. And Johnny chases her into space, and we've seen that scene as well. And after that, Reed and the Fantastic Four are wondering who is this lady and how can a person consume the Earth entirely. They actually go into space after 4 years, go to meet Galactus, and Galactus asks for their child, and then he opens his eyes and then like starts making Sue's pregnancy faster. Like she goes into labor real quick, and yeah, that's how we get Franklin Richards in the movie that fast. And Silver Surfer starts chasing them to everything, and then they go to this black hole and get the Silver Surfer sucked into the black holes. Actually, this scene was the one that those people who went to the Mexico CCXP, they saw a scene, right? Whoever made that description, hats off, man. I don't think you could be more detailed. Literally whatever they said, it was in the movie. I was kind of surprised that someone managed to get down every single detail from a 5-minute clip. So yeah, basically she goes into labor in the spaceship. She gives birth to Franklin, and Ben is driving the spaceship, and then Reed tells them to go into a black hole. And then a lot of people were wondering, is this the start of the movie when they get the powers, or is this at the end of the movie when they go to the MCU, or is it at the middle of the movie at a random timing? It is at the middle of the movie, and they steer out and they lose the Silver Surfer. And peak cinema, the black hole, man, it looks so good. Reminds me of Interstellar. The space scenes were really insane. The scale of Galactus, he is huge. You saw the trailer and how is he so small? He can scale his size, but in the movie when they first showed Galactus, you feel chills down your spine. If you don't feel chills down your spine, you're lying. You hear his voice, that deep voice. Ralph Ineson did a great job, and yeah, it's really good. I love what they've done with Galactus. Finally a comic accurate version rather than a big space cloud. And then they go back to Earth and everyone's like asking them what happened, and then the whole crowd sees the baby in Sue's hand, and then they're happy. I love how they showed the public perspective in this movie. I think the public perspective is something we rarely get in Marvel movies, and this movie was all about that. And then when they find out that they rejected Galactus's offer to leave the Earth in exchange for their child, they're like, man, what the heck?
Just answer this! Are we safe?
Are we safe? I don't know.
You're the superheroes, you're supposed to protect us, and you're gonna put our lives at stake just for your child? I love that dynamic, and they are being hated for... It's similar to when Spider-Man's identity got revealed and then everyone just turned against Spider-Man and they're like, we believe Mysterio. And then after a while, Vanessa Kirby sues him. She just goes out and tells everyone, I would not sacrifice my child for this world, and at the same time I won't sacrifice this world for my child. Peak dialogue writing. Public gets relieved, and then Mr. Fantastic gets this idea that they should teleport the entire Earth into another place that Galactus cannot reach. They do almost do it, then the Silver Surfer comes and interrupts. Then Johnny Storm manages to talk her out of it, and she says, you guys should escape with the baby. This world is doomed. Say that again. But yeah, this world is doomed, just leave it and go. And that's what we thought they would do, but no, they didn't. And then Reed gets this other idea where they lure Galactus in with the baby, and then they transport him to a place where the Earth cannot reach. And yeah, they actually try to do it. You know that thing that Mr. Fantastic pokes into Galactus? Oh my god, these YouTubers had so many theories about it. It was just a normal pole. It was a normal pole that he put onto Galactus so that he can climb onto him. These YouTubers had like 10,000 theories on that. That is one thing that the YouTubers got wrong. But Cosmic Wonder, you had like 10,000 videos on that. Ended up being nothing. Even the Canadian lad had a theory on that. Can't blame them, but seriously guys, Vanessa Kirby starts using her Force shields to actually push Galactus. And I think she is the most powerful character out of the Fantastic Four, but I don't think she can do that normally. It's because her kid was in trouble. That's the extent a mother goes to. Also, when Galactus is walking around, of course he's gonna hurt people inside buildings, so that's where Mole Man comes in, where he trusts Sue Storm. They already established that. He allows the public of New York to go to his subterranean world, and yeah, so the public stay there. So Vanessa Kirby manages to push him into that place where he will get teleported into another area of the world where he cannot reach anything actually. So I'm curious to see how that goes, because without Galactus is like a life force that has to exist. Without planets he cannot exist, and without him it might even affect whatever happens in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Galactus actually, there was a few more seconds left for him to get transported, and he almost came out. Then Johnny Storm said, I'm gonna make the sacrifice. Okay, yeah, I have to talk about Johnny Storm. This is a very different version of Johnny Storm in a good way. You're not gonna see your Chris Evans Johnny Storm here. He seems more responsible, he seems better, he does the work. He almost made the sacrifice play. You could say he's basically Iron Man. He could be this playboy, this funny, lousy guy, but at the end of the day, he could make the sacrifice play, and he almost did it. But then the Silver Surfer comes back in and she pushes him away, and she ends up being the person to push Galactus back into the thing, and then she also goes in with him, and yeah, they get transported. We don't know what happens after that. I feel like Marvel keeps finding easy ways out. Like with the Thunderbolts, we saw the Void, then I was like, how are they going to defeat the Void? There are a bunch of people who don't even have powers, and man, they found a way out. And here again with Galactus, I thought they're gonna leave the world because the stake is so high, and then they will go to the MCU, but man, they did a whole different thing that I didn't expect. No one's gonna expect this, and they did a good job. Then there's this part where we think Sue is dead, and then Reed tries to do CPR and get her back alive, but after many attempts they realize that she's gone. I was like, bro, they literally had Vanessa Kirby's name as the second name on the chair review video, so of course she's alive. And then they put Franklin on her, and Franklin gave birth to his mother. That's right, absolute cinema guys, absolute cinema. I mean, yeah, he has the power to create or destroy universes. That's exactly why Galactus wants him. So that's when the parents realize that he's powerful, and he brings back his mother to life. And you get this amazing shot of her just holding Franklin and looking at him. I've seen it in the trailers. I think that's like the best shot in the movie. It just shows how much a mother could love her child, and I love that scene in the movie. And that's it. No hint of them coming to the MCU or anything, surprisingly. And I'm really shocked at that. Now this brings me to my mid-credits and post-credits. So I'll talk about the post-credits first because it doesn't really matter. It's actually the intro to their cartoon in that universe. Nothing much to break down there, but the mid-credits is, I feel like the Thunderbolts post-credit scene was better and more fun to watch.
I have smart solve. Avengers with the Z, there is no copyright.
Basically, the scene is like, it's 4 years after the events of the movie, and she's reading a book to Franklin, and then she goes to take another book. When she comes back, she senses something wrong, and she starts using her powers, and we see a hooded figure holding Franklin Richards. Doctor Doom. They don't show his face, but guys, is that a question? No way they're doing another Doctor Doom. It's definitely gonna be the Doctor Doom that becomes God Emperor Doom in Doomsday. It's Robert Downey Jr. It could have been way better at setting up the next movie. When the movie was filming, I think one of the only leaks from the set was a guy who was wearing a hood. You couldn't see his face, but he was walking into the set, and I was saying that would be RDJ, because Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four villain, and when you have a Fantastic Four movie coming right before Avengers Doomsday, where else do you review him? It was like a duh kind of thing. And also they did set up this scene at the start of the movie. So basically at the start of the movie, they also set up that Susan Storm is a political figure. Since the Fantastic Four are the only superheroes in the world, everyone looks up to them. That's when Susan Storm steps in, creates the Future Foundation, and in that clip where they show her talking, one particular table that has a country called Latveria, and the chair was empty. I saw that scene, that was literally at the start of the movie, and I was like mind blown. Doom start Latveria. Doctor Doom has been set up. What do I break down from this? I don't know. Another thing I want to note is that in the credits, for the song credits, the last song they credited was Doom and then a question mark, and the name credited under that song was Alan Silvestri. He is the music composer for a lot of the Avengers films. I don't know if that was official, but now it is. The director already confirmed this. The post-credit scene of this movie is a scene directed by the Russo brothers on the sets of Doomsday as well.
I know the Russos directed the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts, so I want to know, did they step in here or was this all you?
They did.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this was done during production of Avengers Doomsday.
And it's kind of cheap, not gonna lie, but I kind of like it. To be honest, it's like the shortest post-credit scene ever in a Marvel movie. And honestly, I think they could have done better. They should have at least showed the face. The thing is, right, the less that they show in these movies, the more they have to do to set up his character in next year's Doomsday movie, which is going to be like 2 hours 30 minutes. So that's what I'm worried about. I feel like they could have done more. Like how the Thunderbolts post-credit scene was like 3 minutes. So I feel like why not do at least a minute or 2 minutes in this movie? So that's what I was expecting. At least a face reveal. I guess they don't want to show how Robert Downey Jr. would look like in a movie, but like we are gonna get a trailer in like a year. So why do you have to hide it? Like I guess it's not really a big thing, but I guess they are hyping it up. Oh yeah, I have to talk about the clobbering time. They were teasing it for a long time, and in the movie he does say it. It's really done quick. I think only after post-production they came out with the idea of teasing us with it, but yeah.
Hey, Ebon.
Yes.
What time is it?
8:28.
No, what time is it?
It's time to get your tickets to our new film.
Honestly, I don't know what else to say. The post-credit scene didn't have much to break down. Oh yeah, talking about the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, right? When we saw that scene, we were thinking that spoils the whole ending of the Fantastic Four movie, and now we know it doesn't. So how do the Fantastic Four end up in the MCU? How does Doctor Doom end up in the MCU? I don't know what to even expect now. So I think Doomsday will start off exactly where the Fantastic Four mid-credit scene has ended off right now. And then we'll see the Thunderbolts post-credit scene play out. I was expecting a better tease, and also you didn't really get a look of his suit. The mask, I have to say, it's a really simple mask. It's not similar to the Mark 1 from Iron Man 1. Of course, people were speculating that. But I think it's going to definitely change when we see Doomsday next year. They're going to change stuff. Also, I'm really happy that they set this in a different universe, because that allowed them to do more stuff. Because if not, there will be this question, where have been the Fantastic Four in the MCU? Now the answer is simple. There will never be a Fantastic Four team in the MCU. Just that the current team will move to the MCU moving forward after the reboot. And the movie ends with saying the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. I feel like the fact that they downplayed the post-credit scene is better, because now it makes me appreciate the movie more rather than the post-credit scene, because there was something about Thunderbolts I was more hyped about and more happy about the post-credit scene than the movie itself. And the post-credit scene made me shift my focus away from the movie. So here, since the post-credit scene wasn't as exciting, that makes me think about the movie more. Cast is fantastic, everything is incredible, and the post-credit scene was super, man.
Say that again?
Guys, I was just recording my FNAF trailer reaction, and my editor told me that I forgot to do a rating for the Fantastic Four movie. And I feel like it's a good thing that I forgot to do it. Now that I've had a good night's sleep and I've thought about the movie well, I think my rating has become more accurate. Personally, I still don't find any flaws with the movie. Like, the only flaws were like what I said previously. They didn't really show much of the relationships between each of the characters, but they focus more on the family side of the Fantastic Four, which is actually a pretty good decision compared to the other movies. And that's why it stands out as the best Fantastic Four film out of the 4 Fantastic Four movies we've gotten. I think at this point the only flaw I have is that if they added 15 minutes would have done wonders for the film. I think that is like the only flaw, because even if they didn't have much to add to the movie, I feel like those 10 or 15 minutes could have shown us more interactions between each character, maybe even more of Galactus or more of Doctor Doom. So I was about to give this a 10 yesterday. I think one of the 10 out of 10 movies so far in Marvel would be definitely Infinity War. No Way Home is like 9 to 9.5, so I think this movie deserves a 9.5. And you guys might think I always give good reviews on this channel, but maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's because I only review movies that I really like and feel like reviewing them, so that's why I always give good reviews. And if it's the Marvel movie, I will try my best to review it, and if I watch it early, then I'm definitely reviewing it even if I didn't like it. And an example for that would be my Captain America Brave New World review, which you can watch right here. And this might be the end of the Fantastic Four videos. Finally, this is one movie that I have been making videos since the first teaser. I didn't make a video for the final trailer, but I did break it down during my promos video, so I'm really happy that I managed to finish the series properly. And The Fantastic Four was fantastic.
Say that again?
Bye, guys.
I'm Victor Von Doom.
They have made their first steps into the MCU. Say that again.